So, Mr. Flop, how are the tests coming along? Well, Dr. Flopuro, despite his assertions of possessing intelligence far above that of the general population, his behavior and reasoning patterns appear to fall within the first standard deviation at best. This narcissistic pattern is likewise reflected in his political viewpoints as well. All results point to him just being a retard. These observations are quite fascinating. Are there any other biological markers we need to be made aware of? Well, it seems his testosterone levels are unusually low despite being so aggressive and having a seemingly normal upbringing, but more tests would be required before we label anything as conclusive. More tests? I think the results are already clear as can be. Send them to the BOZO chamber and call it a day. Hello internet, welcome back to the channel, and it is a good day to be a subscriber because another No Kings protest took place around the country, which means r/pics went full retard yet again with another large-scale propaganda campaign all over the subreddit, which is what we're going to be checking out today in this video. And before we get to the post, like, comment, and subscribe because I don't take sponsors so that nobody can tell me what to think or say, but without further ado, on to the posts. Alrighty, so here we are on the front page and we are at top of this week. So let's check out this first post here with 136 upvotes. ICE aims gun at Americans. And if we look at the post, we can see that this is clearly not a typical gun. This is a beanbag launcher, I believe, which is a less than lethal weapon. And just because, you look at it and you see that the barrel size is massive. Bullets do not come out of this. Or at least the typical bullets that you would normally see in guns like this, so being 5.56, 7.62. And even looking at the gun with the foldable stock, it could possibly be for CQB as well, which would be 9mm. But I don't really understand what's trying to be said here. ICE aims gun at Americans. I don't see what the problem is, given that there is absolutely no context. I mean, our own police aim guns at Americans, quote unquote, all the time because, you fuck around, you find out. And I was actually able to find where this image came from, and it came from a Chicago SunTimes.com article that says feds ram SUV after chase down residential street in Chicago, then tear gas crowd. And it says 2 men being pursued were arrested, as were 2 bystanders. The crash drew dozens of neighbors who protested the tactics of immigration agents. So we have illegal migrants trying to flee from the police. They crash their car, and when ICE tries to actually go and arrest them, apparently a protest breaks out right then and there, which obviously is disrupting the currently active event that is, happening. And now I guess we're supposed to feel bad for these people for trying to interfere with a legitimate arrest, I'm assuming, of these people. And you can see somewhere in the article, I can't find it again, but when I was doing my research, I read it, where they were saying that it's so bad because there are kids and elderly around. Well, why weren't they minding their own business and, walking away from the active situation that was happening? You don't know what the other person could be, dealing with. They could have guns, a shootout could occur, and you're just like standing around. Oh, right here, even with children and seniors around. But what are we supposed to do if there's children and seniors around? Are we just not supposed to arrest people anymore? And why, again, are they around? It's the responsibility of people around them to get them out of the way so that nobody gets hurt. This is a completely unforced error on their part, and right here you see them comparing them to, I think the Ku Klux Klan, yeah, right here. Because they're just terrorizing people of color. I just don't know how these news articles are able to get away with it. I guess they prompt people to make these responses so that they can say that it's, someone quote said this, but they never actually give any of the other context or make it seem reasonable that maybe you shouldn't interfere with police matters, and if you do, you might actually face some consequences. Like, the framing of this is just absolutely nuts, but let's look at some comments. Oh, but real quickly, this is how propaganda works, guys. They say something that's so vague and leave it up to the interpretation of the viewer and also nudge you in the direction that they want you to perceive it as. And Reddit just eats this shit up all the time. Who cares if a gun is pointed at a quote-unquote American? What is the context here? What happened? What actually occurred? Why is the gun being pointed at them? All this stuff is relevant if you're gonna make a statement like this, but obviously it's not relevant to Redditors. But sorry, let's go look at the comments. I don't understand why they use camouflage and why it's so messy. I guess they are truly a paramilitary organization now. It's the whole tactical mentality that has literally infested America like a disease at this point. Most of these guys are wearing all kinds of unnecessary shit, from the Oakley sunglasses to balaclavas / bandanas, frankly even down to their plate carriers. Bonus points for wearing a baseball cap and having an impressive lumberjack beard. So I guess you're not allowed to protect your eyes from, the sun if it gets in them when you're actually trying to do dangerous work, alright? And again, balaclavas and bandanas, they're covering their identity because people keep wanting to dox them and actually go and harass them. And I don't even have to talk about the plate carriers because why would you not? This country has the most guns out of pretty much any country, I think. Why would you not have something on you to protect yourself from bullets? It's literally like asking the question, why are these people so prepared to do the dangerous job that they're going to do? These people act like they're so intelligent and then play retarded when it's something obvious. Truly a Reddit moment, man. Yeah, that finger is fully on the trigger. Okay, the dude was like inches from his barrel if he was trying to attack him or stop him in any way. I don't see why that's so unnecessary to prepare to fire in that instance. Nobody seems to want to ask the question why this dude is so close to a guy who has obviously multiple weapons on him, surrounded by people who also have multiple weapons on them. Like, what was your goal here? What were you trying to accomplish? But again, we have no context or anything for the pictures, so we have to just come to reasonable, questions and conclusions about what we're witnessing. Alright, so I actually made a post about this one because of a comment we're about to look at, but this title is just... Okay, 2 gun rights guys sit behind bulletproof glass at the funeral of a gun rights guy killed by a gun. Is this just supposed to be some type of gotcha? You do realize you don't have a right to just go out and assassinate your political opponents, right? Them being gun rights people has no bearing or weight on the situation. You can be pro allowing people to own and have something, and also condemn when that thing is misused. Again, cars are a great example of this. Knives are a great example of this for the UK people out there. Like, just imagine your family member gets stabbed, and someone says, "Oh, well, you were pro being able to purchase knives, right? You're clearly completely fine with this circumstance." It's just such a lazy argument, and they repeat it over and over and over again like it's the best gotcha in the world. But let me show you this comment real quick. It is, oh my god. Trump looks like he is wearing blackface. He looks fucking ridiculous. Guys, Redditors have just discovered shadows. Maybe they'll discover lighting next and how that affects the way colors look, or the fact that pictures can look different because they're taken from very far away, which changes the quality, which changes the way the colors are actually produced. That would truly be a miracle, but this got 1.4 thousand upvotes. You just can't make this shit up anymore. That was the last comment I expected to see looking at this image. It doesn't even look remotely like blackface either. Am I schizophrenic or something? Is my monitor off? Is there like colors that I'm just not seeing here? But anyway, speaking of colors, Pete Hegseth at the meeting with Zelensky wearing a tie with the colors of the Russian flag. Oh my god, guys. The Russian flag is white, blue, and red. You know what other flag shares these same colors? Oh my god, just unbelievable. I can't believe America is actually Russia. And they pulled this shit from r/Destiny of all places. And the best thing is, I get what they're thinking, They see white, blue, red, but here's the thing. A tie isn't just colored here. The tie is colored on the entire thing. So the way he tied it just so happens to have the white on top instead of the red, because if it was red, white, then blue, nobody would be saying anything. And also, this isn't even the correct blue for Russia or the US. But this got 78,000 upvotes, and it just goes to show how far Redditors will go to be retarded. This is like a parody. This is like a South Park episode from the early 2000s where like some political guy wears a tie that's the color of the United States, and then the news just reports that he's wearing a Russian tie. Like, I am so done, man. And this is something that Redditors have been doing recently that I just find absolutely disgusting. They are labeling the World War II troops as Antifa, which is just so beyond disingenuous that I am disgusted. The troops in World War II did not subvert the American political system by causing violence. They were not paid by foreign adversaries to cause chaos in the streets or damage property. And they are far more brave and heroic than any of the current day Antifa members could ever even dream of becoming. The fact that they're subverting this narrative and comparing the Antifa today to that of World War II fucking soldiers makes me hate this site significantly more than I ever have, as they use the sacrifice of some of the bravest soldiers in history to propagate their fucking commie garbage. This honestly pisses me off more than Charlie Kirk, and I'm about to crash out, not gonna lie. Usually we have fun here on the channel, but I'm honestly, I just need to take a break. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you to all my patrons. Thank you to all my base gods, base legends, super based, and base certified members. I'm sorry to end the video a little sooner, but this is where I draw a line. This is just beyond fucking disgusting to me. And I hope all of these pieces of shit get their little dog shit propaganda site taken down forever. I don't give a fuck anymore.